Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 6.
New tonight at 6, COVID-19 is showing us the critical importance of essential healthcare workers and first responders. But another group is also facing challenges. Valley News Team's Callie Hubbard tells us how apartment companies are navigating issues surrounding their landlords.
I mean, it's a really emotional thing, and this is really difficult for property managers to deal with.
Mike Marcial and Angela Thoreau with Orange Property Management say they're one of the many apartment companies in the metro dealing with topics surrounding COVID-19.
We have had people that have passed where you can imagine how we discovered that. It wasn't because somebody called, because we had 3 in a day. A few weeks ago.
Marcial has come up with a checklist if you ever have to deal with a similar situation.
Who do you call when someone passes away, or you're kind of left with maybe your mother-in-law's affairs, father-in-law, mom or dad? I guess, what do you kind of do, and how do you do a health and safety check on that?
Well, here's what we were going to say. I'm really encouraging renters to do a couple things. Number one, list multiple contacts with your management company, and if you haven't, update them, because we have tenants that have been there for 10 or 15 years.
Marcial says you should let the people you listed as emergency contacts know your landlord's information.
But the first few things is you need to notify your landlord, and then hopefully, that there's some sort of legal documentation showing where the personal belongings and access to the property should go to, as well as, the health directives, so everyone is on the same page.
They add every family's exit plan is going to look different. But if you work for a company that has a life insurance policy, Marcial says to make sure it's updated and given to your loved ones.
That will cover and bring that burden off of the shoulders of the loved ones. Things like a simple will, okay, and if you don't have a will, write a letter.
Loved ones will have to show us a power of attorney or a will or something showing that we can release it.
Marcial's saying you should be as prepared as you can in the event this never happens. And if it does, you'll be covered.
Most landlords, if they're compassionate, and we try to be, will be maximum flexibility, but some may not be, just because they're protecting their own legal liability in these matters.
In Fargo, Callie Hubbard, Valley News Live.
Orange Property Management says they've been meeting with local apartment companies on how they're addressing COVID-19. Some landlords are staying up to date on webinars through the National Apartment Association. No warm-up in sight as we continue to deal with temperatures that are near or below average for this time of year, and there are some expectations for some of us to get overnight flurries. Let's get the very latest from Summer, who's here with your Wednesday night weather planner. Summer?
Yeah, Mike, we could see on that Skycam up in Grand Forks, our home of Economy Skycam network, some flurries on the radar and some very chilly temperatures. We're currently looking at 20s to low 30s across the Northern Valley, where there is thicker cloud cover and some of that snow or mixed precipitation. Warmer air down to the south, 39 in Fargo, 41 in Aberdeen at this hour. On satellite and radar, you can still see some of those rain showers, even mixing in a few spots, and some moderate to even possibly a little bit of heavier, wetter snow across portions of the area as well. Here's a DOT camera picture from up in Grand Forks. It's a little dark, but you can see those flurries flying around in the air, so watch out for some slick road conditions across the Northern Valley this evening. The wind is beginning to pick up across eastern and central North Dakota, sustained in the teens and 20s, with a few locations beginning to gust into the 30s. Grand Forks right now seeing a gust to 32 miles per hour. Your hourly forecast for tonight calls for temperatures falling into the 20s, but come tomorrow morning, we could see some teens, and I'll let you know where we could possibly see some single digits tomorrow morning.
All right, thanks, Summer. The COVID numbers remain high in North Dakota. The positivity rate for today is around 18%. 1,039 new cases were reported across the state, Cass County having the highest county number at 341. 12 new deaths were reported, bringing the state's total to 686. The full numbers can be found on our VNL News app and at the bottom of your screen. Sanford Health in Fargo is activating its next stage in a pandemic surge plan. In an email obtained by Valley News Live, they're focusing on expanding bed capacity, continuing with scheduled non-emergency procedures, but will review new cases, and the reassigning of staff from clinics to medical centers. The email also noted that 35 more beds have been added to the Broadway campus. 14 more rooms are under construction at the main Sanford Medical Center. Sanford is looking over Governor Burgum's new order that allows asymptomatic healthcare workers who test positive to continue working in COVID units. A woman was arrested after police say she broke into an apartment building and started a fire early this afternoon. It happened at 1360 32nd Street South. 20-year-old Nyamal Kachlek was accused of trespassing at this same location a day earlier. Police say they saw smoke coming from a window and upon arrival called for fire crews. After the fire was out, they say they found the woman hiding in a laundry room, and while they tried to take her into custody, she attempted to attack an officer. President Donald Trump and First Lady Melania Trump attended a Veterans Day observance at Arlington National Cemetery this morning. As is a Veterans Day tradition, the president laid a wreath at the tomb of the unknown soldier. It was Mr. Trump's first appearance in public since Joe Biden was named the projected winner in last week's presidential election. Joe Biden and his wife Jill observed Veterans Day in Philadelphia this morning. They and others stood at the Philadelphia Korean War Memorial at Penn's Landing. The Bidens placed one of 4 wreaths at the Granite Memorial. There's a serious problem facing our veterans, and it's one that we don't often talk about. The sacrifices that these men and women make often leaves them with scars that we can't see. Military suicide rates have increased 20% this year compared to last. Violent behavior has also spiked during the pandemic because they can't get the help that they need. This comes from war zone deployments, national disasters, and civil unrest.
22 veterans commit suicide every day or attempt suicide every day. And obviously, I think the number is closer to 20 right now, but that's still way too high. And I'm so passionate about it because the person I slept next to in Iraq, he committed suicide right when we got back.
Kuhn adds the government sets money aside to deal with veterans' suicide. Mission 22 also provides relief programs for veterans and their families. The Suicide Hotline is a free service that operates all the time. The number is right now at the bottom of your screen. You'll be holiday shopping soon, and if you want to go through it smoothly, planning is crucial. We've got details to come later on Valley News Live at 6.
Temperatures in Grand Forks today were slightly below that average, and they had a little bit of snowfall today. Meanwhile, Fargo was a couple degrees above that average. But tomorrow, all of us will be seeing below average temperatures. I'll have your Thursday forecast and a roller coaster of temperatures for the week ahead coming up next.